resilient units, yeah.
Resilient units, yeah. These potions, it's units at all, right?
Yeah. I said it before when I was casting the other games. Dwarfs in general rely so much on their bodies, on the units, and if you can get rid of those bodies, it's super important. And we've seen like top deck round 2 and 3 that have no value with potions and different cards that get so much value with the units, and also why Roach is also running a lot of dwarf decks, and you can find a lot of value with Zoltan, for example, as well.
Definitely.
And we saw that it almost won that one game a little while ago with it landing on the melee row as well. So definitely some RNG involved, maybe for the fans of excitement. It's also a reason why.
Metronos also has to watch out that this Yapin doesn't go to 11 strength. It's just he knows that there's an Igni in the deck list, so you have to play around it, definitely. Let's see. Yeah, what the Aldir is doing very nicely is just playing around Igni from your opponent.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
And he's just going to start thinning out his deck, bringing the Reaver Scouts, taking out the Sergeants, and just buffing pretty much everything in his deck. And as I said earlier, I think Infantryman is a very important card to keep for round 2. Maybe not so much in this matchup because there's going to be carryover probably anyway, so it's not as important, the bleeding in round 2, but I think it's still important as a card to have it for round 2. And also the bodies, maybe not so much with this deck, but if you're running Knight Alex, it's very important to have a lot of bodies in Hensel decks as well.
Yeah, that's true. So what can Game King do here? You want to see a bit more buffs before you use this Margarita. You can just pull it with Reaver Scout. Sadly, no Dandelion this time. It should buff them a little bit. Sure. Everything in the front row. Yeah, I like this. But on the other hand, you could pull one of the mover dwarfs here. If you're Metronos and just move the Olgierd into a different row.
Is that what you
Yeah, that's true. It'd be a very good play as well. I think you also used it to move one of the Alchemists into the range row in your matchup, so that's definitely a play that people don't think about a lot with Zoltan as well. They can provide, but maybe not the dwarf player, but the opponent is going to think of that as a possibility. But it's not done as often, I think, so...
Yeah, that's why I like Igni in the dwarf deck so much, because these moving effects kind of help you on manipulating. So we do have the 19 strength unit blocking the 18s, not only blocking the double score, the double Igni if Gaming had it, but also protecting the resilient unit from the Igni, so a very important block there. It is still a very big Igni if Gaming doesn't have it. I like it putting some very different. Although he can block the Igni off if you use the Reaver Hunter simply, right? Because now the Reaver Hunters always grow by 1 and protect.
But it's a big play to commit as well, just to block the Igni. If you want to have them for round 3, so
it's reasonable. It costs, but it doesn't cost you like 30 stats or something.
Especially without like Naneki or Shani being played, where you can't really res a Reaver Hunter. Or maybe like there's decks that run Shani or Naneki that can bait out very odd plays because they think you're committing to the round very heavily by playing Reaver Hunter, but then you just pass. So yeah, it's definitely interesting.
This time Game King definitely has the tools to fight. I mean, there's only Yapin, which can get Margarita. Metronos maybe wants to get away this round with an Ifleen and double check has already buffed minions. I can see that. Definitely.
Just like I was thinking the other time.
It's good for Reaver Hunter actually.
I mean, he has only one resilient unit, which is a big problem because it's so vulnerable to lock. And if you want to win this round, you can't really Ithling, because if you Ithling into Adrenaline Rush, it's just not enough tempo to maybe win it with cards like Reaver Hunter, obviously, as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure.
Well, and maybe just drop the Infantryman in the front row, right?
Value.
Just drop them there. Next comes the Horn. The Margarita is so crazy.
Yeah, a lot of value. And there's not even that many point difference right now, so...
Yeah, I like this a lot. Prevents from Igni.
I mean, it's so weak to last rate, but yeah, there's...
that's
they know the deck list, so they know what they have to play around and what they don't have to play around. It's also important. It can make you make plays that and very optimal plays that you couldn't make in ladder because you're scared of different cards. So we're definitely seeing, or we should be seeing, a lot of very optimal plays in this tournament after they know the deck list, the opponent's deck lists.
Yeah, well, Grand is quite exhausting. Like it really takes.
Yeah, keeping track of everything is very hard. As you do play like a lot of quarterfinal, semifinal, and final in a day, it's a lot of matches and long series as well in a best of 5.
Because if he had an Ignite, what's it called? A Scorch.
Igni doesn't find much value. Ifleen is a lot of middle for this round. ADC, I'm not sure what it pulls, probably a dwarf mercenary, I believe. mistaken.
That would've
Yeah,
been good
I
if
think
he
a
had
good
it.
thing is here, like now his horn comes down again, and the Margarita strikes even harder.
Yeah.
I think now you can safely just lock
Margarita,
this
yeah,
off.
it's like the coral, same thing. After the double horn, you know it's safe enough. You might have like one
Margarita
more.
is like, it's crazy.
Yeah. And it's enough to catch up in one card and win on even without having the door player have any resilience. I mean, you did use the infantry, but he still has, you know, very strong plays. I think
It's just crazy.
Margarita's the correct play here, and I think Machanos maybe has to
24
pass.
stats plus the shackle. It's crazy. Yeah, the Margarita. I think Margarita.
We're glad we helped.
Wow.
Just because you know there's no more resilient units. There's no way that Machanos would play this round out for so long without playing all his resilient units earlier.
Dwarf
So
fucked.
he knows that he has no more chances
Lost
to
all
have
your
resilient
resilience.
units.
I
And
mean, I
That's
see
bad.
Metrano's plan here. The plan is basically just.
bleed out the Reaver Hunters and hope to get better top decks maybe.
No, I think it was wanted to make
go all out
Game
just to
King
win.
at some point give up the round and then just double toggle with it lean. Has
He
55
can drop
carry.
his
Yeah,
spy
that's true as
card,
well.
drop the spy card,
I think
and then
Game
he
King is
gets the
gonna
double
know
buff.
it's
He'll win the
obviously a
round.
very, vulnerability he does have in this current round, so I think he's going to play it out to the very end, and he knows he has to try and force the Iflin to play tempo at least with the potions and maybe win it that way and deny any kind of carryover.
Yeah, he's gonna try to get this super Igni out, I think.
Yeah,
he's
maybe.
gonna try with the moving door.
It's
It's kind of a 50. Yeah, here we go. And I think he's gonna try to put.
There you
out
go.
here
If he
to
gets
back.
that,
Sadly, he's.
yeah, he moves
oh,
the
doesn't.
10.
Oh,
What's he doing?
interesting.
No.
Maybe. Yeah.
Why
He just
does he
assumes
do
that
that?
there's a Reaver Hunter. I can
Yeah.
also see that.
Yeah, yeah.
Why would you do that?
Well, he still
So
won it,
now
but the
you
other guy
can
can
go
just play
for
another
the
one.
Quite good Igni.
I would move that 10 and then scorch that
Maybe
top
the only
row.
thing you should not let Metronos do is do the Iflin double toggle, and then you're fine.
Yeah, he has to play this out to the very end, even if it means using his Reaver Hunter, which is obviously Game King's win condition for the most part.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he has to do it. Really, he cannot
guy's
let
not a real dwarf
that double
player.
toggle goes down. Then the game's
Get this
over.
guy out of
It's very, especially with infantrymen out. Without, I mean, he can draw into.
Wait,
Ignis,
he
so-
actually he couldn't even Igni. He couldn't even Igni. He could just Igni for 14.
He still decided to pass. Game King
But
decided
now
not
he
to
can-
spend the
Yeah, he
points.
can miss the Iflin.
Yeah, because he gets the Roach.
I mean, I feel like
He can Iflin
What
because
he
he.
did
Oh,
already.
actually, it's not enough for him,
Pretty
right?
much
It's
won
a
the
tie.
Iflin's a double toggle. It gives 5.
Oh no,
No, the Roach is
that's
enough. Yeah,
Yeah, the double
that's
toggle.
that's game. I think.
I don't know. Where's Igni? There's Igni still in the deck. And I
Yeah,
think
there's
if
Ignis on the deck. There's no Margarita. There's no
Nope,
way to rest
where's that?
Margarita.
It's about he has to draw Igni here,
Yeah,
and
he
maybe he
has
has a chance then.
And Merchants will have to get really bad top decks, I think. But
can't sleep on dirty dwarves.
I forgot that
Summoning
that
Circle's
gold
not-
card lets you pull
DJ
anything
draw,
in your deck.
maybe we can see a lot of
I played
RNG
twice.
here.
I thought it was only
DJ
ones you
Extra
spent.
can
It's like the
definitely
hero
do it.
power.
That's broken. Why can you do that?
Yeah, I think
I need
he
that
couldn't
gold
allow
card,
him
Bobby.
to play this Margarita, the Iflin like this.
Dandelion. That's 5 cards
Double
left.
resilience? Was he planning on triple resiliency?
Should Machanos just dry pass here?
I think he's gonna go into this round with a 90-point score.
Wow.
Because the Elven Mercs, I guess, are decent with having 2 bodies at least above.
Yeah, fine.
The storm is coming.
Yeah, looking
Let's
very,
enjoy
very
the
dire for Game King.
Yeah. I think that pass was.
Did they know this already? Like, did the commentators? They didn't seem it.
The round 1 was way too early, especially with the Iflin
That from
being a big risk
Yeah,
still.
it's just hard to hear the tone. It's pretty monotone.
Super rigorous.
Yeah. And he had the tools to win that round, I think, with the Reaver Hunters and the Operator for sure. 3 Reaver Hunters with a trio effect is a lot of damage for sure.
There comes more resilience. Yay.
And he had the card advantage to play around the Igni as well. It wouldn't be as much damage, I think. So
Yeah, sure. There are only 3 units left to buff. Actually, he has to play a Reaver Hunter first, so the Scout doesn't blank, right? But then he has to play the Operator first.
Everything all right?
So the right ordering is what? Operator into Reaver Hunter DJ.
we do see Summoning Circle.
Uh,
This is also an interesting card. I don't think Iggy's going to get much value, but still so many cards in 3 cards making that much tempo up. And there is still some resilience from Machanos as well, so he has some fallback for next round as well. But yeah, it's definitely going to be very... I mean, Dijkstra has to
this is
play...
super close.
Yeah, Dijkstra's going to have to get some really big plays to make it.
if
But
there's Igni,
he
if
has
there's Igni for 43 stats, he's definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And he has to play the Reaver Hunters first because he has to, if he draws Reaver Scout with the Dijkstra, it'll be a blank if he has no bronze units on the board.
The thing is, like, Metronos might be forced to play the Reaver Hunter here because the Igni will not find value, right? And Dwarf doesn't play good without a board. This is gonna be close, I think.
Yeah, I think Metronos might see that if he doesn't use one of these two cards right now, he's gonna have. Oh, so he does pass it. I think that was correct with the Summoning Circle also being.
I think so because if
possibility.
he played
Summoning Circle's now
Igni, he wouldn't have
Elven
Elven from it. If he played that Reaver,
which
then the other dude could have Summoning Circled that Reaver.
No bronze spells, so it's dead. Summoning Circle.
So I think the proper thing
he's
is
gonna have to win it with the 3 cards he has in hand, which I think he can do if he draws Igni. So he does have to play the Reaver Hunter first.
So DJ is coming down as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be very RNG heavy. Let's see if we can do this.
Wow. And
29.
Wow, boy, this is huge.
Yeah.
This is huge.
How lucky did he get with that?
Yeah, yeah. And then he has to draw the Reaver
Oh,
Scout.
this is insane. Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa!
Oh my goodness!
What a DJ! He really
DJ
had some
Extra
good
coming in
tunes,
strong,
right?
definitely putting in the work.
One step, bro.
The best beats in the tournament by far.
Wow! Wow!
I mean, that was just
that was just calculated
really
by
bad.
Game King, right?
He does still have the resilience though, so and they're on equal cards, and he did use a Reaver Hunter, so
That was insane.
maybe it's not that bad. I mean, I think they're both really.
Now I think now it looks really good for the Reaver Hunter.
Yeah.
He got so lucky with the RNG.
Oh my goodness, that was crazy to see that happen. Such a huge. Oh my goodness, that was crazy. I mean, he had 3 cards left. He had a lot of cards that could maybe blank there, so and 2 maybe it's lucky for Game King.
So he has to mulligan this Reaver Hunter.
He has to
He has to get rid of the Summoning
Reaver
Circle. It's too
Hunter, like
risky
you
to keep it.
Because of the
Archer
Summoning
support would be
I think you get rid of the Summoning Circle, right?
although the Reaver Scout is dead if he draws it, so
Maybe
maybe he wants to. Oh, it's risky as well. Oh, he gets the Reaver
I think that's
Scout.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fine.
Lucky,
I like this.
He had, what cards did he have left apart from the Reaver Scout? Do you know? There's just one other card left.
What a Haka support. Hey, boy. Hey, this is actually he just wins it now, right? Did he
yeah.
That was insane. That just single-handedly won him. Wow. Also,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's
And
a
the card
deciding
doesn't
game,
have
right?
units to buff with the potion. It's pretty much dead.
Wow.
And he can play around Igni as well. So.
Well, he can play around everything and just be Gucci.
Oh no, the Hawker support goes in the back row.
Huh?
The Hawker support goes. Oh no, he can wait though because it's. He doesn't have to play Summoning Circle
He just
first.
played a Reaver.
Yeah.
Play around Igni. No. Right, yeah, wherever you can play it.
Yeah. That's safer as well, I guess. Doesn't really matter regardless. Yeah. Yeah, he wins it. It's crazy. So DJ Extra filling us up with RNG. You wanted to see more RNG? Well, you got it. You definitely got some more RNG.
Actually, if he gets the Hawker support, it's not even worth it getting it, right?
No?
I would just pass. But I think even Igni is 20 cents. How much is it? 20?
Igni is 18. There's a 14 in the back row. So it's not enough anyway.
It's not enough anyway. So
39 plus, yeah.
So you can just do it if you wanted.
Oh no, 20, yeah, 20. So it's he
trying
wins
to
by a
debate
point
whether or not
if he
to
does it.
copy
Yeah,
that
exactly.
card.
He does not know what card he has though, so does he? I mean, he's definitely considering the Igni. He hasn't seen it yet, and
Yeah, you can definitely do
That
it.
has
But
to
there's
go on the
no.
bottom row.
This does
yeah, if he counts the points, he knows he wins by 1 anyway, so it's correct to do it regardless.
He should
And
just
if it is
pass.
an Igni, then it's
He's
obviously
trying to
better to play the
calculate.
card.
Just end.
What is
Just
DJ
end the
Extra
turn.
just?
Yeah.
He just. He
So
pulled
Donar,
exactly the right
yeah,
card.
Donar thought he was the king of RNG, but I guess we have a new king of RNG. We have DJ Extra coming in with the
All
Igni.
that being said, he played it in the right order.
Yeah, definitely.
1 point.
So yeah, very interesting. Win by a point, so very close semifinal.
That was an insane
Comes down
close-up to
Yeah,
this
yeah,
series.
definitely insane.
That was
we
really
knew it was going to be a really
crazy.
good matchup. We see the partnership from both players.
Maybe he calculated.
it was a really good
If I
series. I
drop
think they
him,
both
it's
played
still
really
just be
well.
1 point. Maybe he just added it. He knew he was
I think
gonna win
Game
by
King
1
made a
point,
mistake round
but
one
the
passing so
potential for
early,
that last
but
card the other
I
guy
guess
had to
luck
not
was on
be
his side, and he
Igni.
managed to come back with the crazy pulls with Dijkstra. So, but yeah, definitely a fun series for sure to see. And I hope the finals is just as good because we still have a very nice finals left with 2. I mean, Mega Mogwai and Game King
like
both,
early,
you know,
man.
playing some very interesting decks. Full Test coming in strong again, winning
No
the game 3. So
Like,
definitely
really.
fun to see. It's a great tournament overall. I think I've had a lot of fun.
Yeah, these
That
series
was
also just insane.
seeing them, yeah, for sure.
I think it's pretty crazy. You're seeing some quite uncommon stuff here.
Yeah, great decks. I think some great plays in general. Really good production value. I think it's turning out really well. The tournament in general, definitely very fun to cast it and to play it as well. Although the playing was a bit short, maybe for both of us.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome in general. And Genking is coming for the interview, the final semi-finalist interview, so I'll let you do that.
What kind of hissing was it? Like a snake?
DJ Extra. Should we call you DJ Game King?
Yeah, they should rename it in the new August patch.
Ah, but you calculated it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty... We saw
A
it.
hissing rock.
Maybe I did not calculate the DJ Extra, but I did calculate the Igni. So like I get 6 points, Igni is like 4, and the destroy 16, so 20. So even if this last card is Igni, I'm so like, the last play was not like YOLO and like use the game. I calculated it. Igni is not enough.
Yeah, we saw that. That Igni is not enough for one stat. And yeah.
And then in the graveyard, there was no Igni, so Igni
very awesome, man. Well done.
Then like
well
Sonic said, 6. This is with 19 and T8.
Not too bad, not too bad. DJ Extra.
Really lucky. It's like the.
It's fun. It's fun. It's pretty cool. Yeah, nice. Congratulations, man. Well done. Hope you will have a great final series.
Thank you.
Good luck in the future. And awesome, man.
Yeah, awesome.
We will go into a quick break, guys, and then be back for the finals. Game King needs a little bit of rest, I guess, and then we will have the finals ready.
But not much do.
What about, if you don't mind my asking?
Rocks.
Rocks.
Rocks. Interesting.
Thanks for your help. So long.
Long. Long.
Edges curled out. Something inside blew it wide open. Wall 2. Bathhouse drain pipes seem to converge here. Pipes great. Explosion crumpled it like a piece of paper. And there's mortar on the bars. So it was in place at the time of the explosion. Blast tore it from the wall. No traces of magic. This was no spell, it was a bomb. Now why am I not finding pieces of it? Could be the current swept them away. Bits of pipe clear over here. Must have been one powerful blast. Shouldn't go any further without taking that antidote.
So you want to play Skellige, eh? We're brave sea wolves and excellent warriors. And boy, don't we just love digging up our mates from the graveyard. It's so much so, we often tip them into their graves on purpose. It's good for them. After all, we've many ways to bring our lads back from the dead. Priestess of Freya will revive fallen skirmishers who returns to the battlefield, their blades sharper than ever before. Skellige's true strength lies in our fighting spirit no matter the odds. We're ferocious in fog and boldly set sail into the storm. And some of our folk, well, pain just makes them feel alive. So a bit of friendly bashing can do them more good than harm. Death in battle is an honor for all Skellige warriors, but those who still breathe always seek to avenge their fallen kin. We're Skellige, and we are the perfect storm. Gwent, the Witcher card game.
Hey guys, yeah, welcome back to the action.
Must be one of
And yeah, we do have our first. I mean, we're playing Game King, of course, against King of the and we have the first.
Nilfgaard ban. We got there. Mega Mogwai made such an impression with this Emir Bliss that Game King wants nothing to do with it at all. It's so strangely superior the way it actually manipulates the opponent's deck. We actually have Emir Var Emrys banned for the first time in a major Gwent tournament. I don't think this would
That's
qualify as that.
amazing.
Like,
I
that
mean,
is
specifically with this meta.
Not only do we see all three leaders, not only do we see Reveal win games, and not only do we see Emir go undefeated every time Mogwai played it, but it's gotten to the point where Game King just doesn't want to take any chances, letting Dagon through, letting you know, Mogwai is, you know, he's the Nilfgaard champion.
Yes.
And he's shown that. He's flexed his muscles, and Game King is respecting that. And this finals is set up to be fantastic. I mean, Mogwai versus Game King, it's good. Spanish versus Austria, right?
Yeah, and
Spain
I mean,
versus
basically also already the entire game. I mean, we started this off. I mean, we had some expectations, but those expectations got completely overwhelmed by what actually happened. I mean, we had those games, and yes, also those matches, and we were thinking that there might be some good matches in between, some maybe not that good, and just having a good and a nice time. But what actually turned out to be is like every freaking match was super awesome. Some even topped it, and really like going into the day-to-day awesome match, topped another awesome match, topped by another awesome match. Even the last one. I mean, it was like I mean, that DJ Extra, man.
That last series, everybody was yelling. You heard the casters yelling. We were all yelling. We were all there with you guys on the edge of our seats. So we hope the finals can bring a lot of excitement. But we're going to crown a champ. We're going to crown a Gwent Together champ, the first Gwent Together champ.
That's right.
And it could be Game King. It could be Mega Mogwai. But it's going to be great.
I'm really looking. I'm super hyped. Like, I'm really looking forward to that. Not seeing Nilfgaard though.
I mean, it would be great to see Nilfgaard in the finals, but it's
the ban, right? I mean,
the ban is such a statement, right?
Yes.
It's such a statement.
Yes.
So it's a statement to Mogwai, and it's a statement to Game King. Game King's respect and Mogwai's skill. It's really, that's like such a highlight.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And
I mean, it's going to come down to seeing, you know, Bran, Henselt, Ethna, and Dagon, who have been represented as those factions. Well, we did see Game King. Well, Game King's actually got a full test list, I believe, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we will see at least full test and Henselt being the difference here. But, you know, ultimately it's going to come down to, you know, the list that we expected to see, and that the unexpected, scary lists actually
got banned.
Get shut down. There's full test. That's what we're talking about.
So you can actually create the standard ladder meta if you basically ban out the decks which are not being played on ladder.
Exactly, You eliminate the surprise factor, although I don't think Game King would be surprised. He just believes that, you know, there's so many ways for that mill to win. It's very disorienting, and, you know, it takes a different level of planning. But we've already seen that deck do really, really well. But now we get to see, you know, the champion being crowned here. So very excited, and we already got a lead off here. Scoia'tael Dwarves versus Mega Mogwai taking Dagon right into the fray.
Also very good hand.
Ready,
Like all goldens in their hand. I mean, if we assume Gilles putting the last golden, which is the Woodland Spirit, I mean, then Mega Mogwai is basically starting with all goldens in their hand. Becker's Twisted Mirror also very strong.
I mean, we saw Becker Swift Mirror delivering a whooping 42
That
sets
was
earlier that day.
That was beautiful. I mean, say what you want about that card, but for those moments, I mean, it's tough when you encounter it.
Yeah.
But when you get to see it actually kind of command a game like that in a tournament setting, you know, it's really something. So
yeah, I mean, I also really like it in a monster build because you can just also put it with shields. So maybe even if you don't have it in your hand, oh, the caretaker just went away. Oh,
the mulligan of the did Mogwai mulligan caretaker? I mean, I guess you want to set yourself up for the strongest round 1 possible, and caretaker is not good in round 1. It's a better later draw, so I can see where Mogwai's coming from there. You just want like the strongest possible cards because round 1 is proving to be very, very important, especially against dwarves. Very hard to pass against dwarves, and staying ahead of dwarves is really important. Caretaker just won't really do that. And of course, there's Gauss that can make it happen if you need it, but.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't quite agree with it, Mulligan, because, I mean, first of all, I really, really dislike Mulligan Golden cards.
Yes, that's the big thing. Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing, but the other thing is that by Mulligan the Caretaker, Mogwai actually renders shields like not being the first choice of play, right? Because otherwise, Mogwai could have just opted in to play shields into Woodland Spirit right away.
That's true.
And in this case, I mean, he can still, of course, put this hero card, but I mean, that's not quite the same power level.
I mean, I still expect to see Dagon within like the first couple of turns, if not this turn here. Mogwai is just kind of weighing his options here. He's choosing to actually play behind here, and I mean, that's fine.
Anything on the body?
Probably just wants to see a little bit more from Game King, although it's going to be what we expect. Like it's, you know, the Game King's got that really cool list, right? He's got Aglace, which I know that he was interested in using Aglace against Becker's Twisted Mirror.
Right.
The problem is monsters have so many options, so many one-strength units they can create, so it's not necessarily good. But Commander's Horn is a different story. So, but we don't see Aglace in any hand.
Hansel, Gretel, burning witches.
You know,
very fitting for
worth noting that it's there.
Trail leads to the river where the sewer lets out. Breaks off there. My bet.
Yeah, that's right.
The treasure
so,
boat.
Yeah.
Okay, LGA
I can't draw my sewer rats does seem unlikely. Since boats don't leave trails, it amounts to fuck all.
Yeah, I would really like to see some kind of weather coming down here. I mean, Mogwai didn't play the weather kind of early last time, but I think this time he should definitely opt in to do so. Especially with his Wardrake in the hand, because if he weathers now with Frost, he can also threaten like Wardrake swipe if Game King chooses to play these little dwarves, right? So just killing one of these dwarves right away, I mean that's also important specifically because he has to be afraid of an Elven Mercenary buffing those 3 minions, because with Ogier there will be 2 minions and then there is the option to play this Elven Mercenary very
would react violently.
Mega Mogwai is looking to, he's placing the Harpy on the melee row, and he did this last time he played monsters as well. He was fine just stacking that melee row, threatening a Commander's Horn while not actually holding it. And I mean, he does have the Thunderbolt Potion, but that Harpy really could have gone anywhere at all. But it's just like an interesting nuance of Mogwai's play, is choosing to play things in a line on the melee row, knowing that his opponent doesn't have a lacerate or really a lot of control at all. He's free to do that. So now the Resilience is coming out, and I agree with you. Weather needs to start happening now. You know, weather loses value in a long round if it's not played, and you know, the benefit of thinning as well. And we can expect to see a fog at some point this round as well. Dagon, I would imagine Dagon is probably going to be Mogwai's next play. And now Game King is, you know, the front row being weathered is always difficult because the Mahakam defenders are locked, so they always have to go in there. And so you can expect that every turn that Frost is going to get value.
Yeah, definitely. Oh wow. Okay, that's a very oh really? Oh wow. I mean,
well, I think with the immune boost in hand, he's thinking he'll just layer it up, play immune boost. I mean, we've seen Game King play Ithleen into immune boost and then use Ethna for an extra layer of armor, making them untouchable. We saw that really in the Axeman matchup with Faith.
Well, it does get rid of one of those dwarves before you can start buffing the shit out of it.
And probably fine to Mogwai taking care of one of those dwarves.
Oh,
decent. Two of the dwarves, of course.
That was definitely worth.
That's actually really good. I would say that's very good.
No, yeah,
taking out two of the 4 major threats. You know, the 3 Mahakam defenders in Yarpen, and now Yarpen is vulnerable to any other weather that Mogwai wants to play here.
Yeah, or even the Fiend. I mean, this Moverdorf also doesn't help too much, and I I mean, it can pull Olgierd out of the weather, of course, but that's not insane. And I think Game King really realized it because, I mean, he knew about this water hack, and I think he just maybe didn't take his time to think about the play and playing directly into this water hack. And yeah, I think that might have been quite a blunder, honestly, because losing 2 of your main win conditions.
I feel like he should have moved
that's really
that dwarf to the middle, bro.
Game King is holding on to Ithleen, and we know how devastating that can be. We've seen
the 11,
I think the highest,
and then made him choose between getting rid
such
of
a
the Headless
devastating amount of
Horseman or the
carryover
dwarf.
that can be provided by Ithleen and the buffs for dwarves. So we're going to get to see. You know,
now he's only going to be able to save 1 with that thing, but if he separated them, whichever row he fogged, he would use his other dwarf to save the other guy.
You know, Mogwai has gotten the coin advantage at this point, so he can play pretty liberally, but I assume that he would definitely want to get ahead here, and you know, the attrition of the weather is going to be good, unless Game King decides to clear it.
Yeah, I mean, we know that Mega Mogwai is actually not playing Igni in his list, but he is playing this Twisting Mirror. So if Game King gets too careless about it and begins buffing his
Twisted Mirror too
a lot, the Twisted Mirror will really hit tremendously for, I mean, whatever, like 28 stats next round if he decides to horn now. Maybe even more, maybe even 36 stats. Specifically, his Ithleen is coming down and he doesn't play around making Yarpen the biggest minion. I'm pretty confident that
the bomb must have found its way.
So a clear in the rally, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what are we going to see? There's that last dwarf.
Perpetrators started emptying one of the
as well,
pools,
because
then dropped the bomb down the
clearing
drain.
this weather basically also
The
makes
bomb
him
flowed down with
another
a
weather
runoff,
effect.
came to rest on the grate, and
yeah, and we do see Karen Theory.
bars.
So that is a possibility. So Fiend will take care of one of these, and with Ithleen being played now the double adrenaline rush is already off the table early in the game.
Exactly,
I would say.
Yeah.
And you know, but I think it was the only sure way. We know the Game King's only running the 1 Clear Skies, First Light. I apologize, First Light, and I mean that's a lot of value out of Ithleen being able to clear the weather and rally out another dwarf. You'll take that, but here comes Caranthir, and he's going to start doing some damage as well.
Yeah, I really like Caranthir here. I mean. If you want to get some damage off your weather, you should do it now. And not only is Caranthir denying the weather, like not dealing the damage over turns, but he's also denying the commander's horn. So I really also like that he puts exactly those 3 minions, basically splitting off the entire minions off from Game King here. And now suddenly the horn doesn't look as good as the horn looked before.
Yeah, I think Mogwai has been playing this very well. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
He's really kind of
my dwarf
trying
mercenary
to foil
and move
strategy
my
that Game King would like
middle
to,
dwarf to the first row,
with,
and drop the potion
units.
on him.
Yes.
And of course, the constant attrition of weather. I mean, Yarpen isn't going to be taking any damage, but Fiend is
maybe
going to
even
take
blow my
care
hero
of
power and drop another potion on him. Then
likely. And
Elven Mercenary, see if I can get another potion.
Becker's Twisted Mirror is still an option. I mean, even right now, it's 22 points.
Yeah, and with this play, Mega Mogwai also kind of set up the middle row as the buffing row.
But I all in on this round. I definitely won't lose this round.
Anticipate it, but if he decides to buff the middle row like tremendously, then the Twisted Mirror will even hit harder. So that's really interesting as well.
Lots of commitment here from both players. I mean, we've seen both leaders be played. We've seen Ithleen being played and Caranthir. These are big power cards from both players.
I gotta figure out what that little Earthfire thing is to see him running
very,
a lot.
very important.
That neutral card, whatever that thing is.
Generally, it is important.
The little eyeball.
It's especially important if you want to have carryover. Mogwai is in more or less, I don't want to say a must-win position, because we've seen some big odds overcome, I think, in this tournament so far. But to play it safe, you definitely want to take care of the dwarves in round 1. And Becker's is looking very good
other
at any given
mercenary,
time here.
Oh, I don't like
or his dwarf, to move that 9 out.
He has this Becker's Mirror.
Then he can use the hunting horn.
So hard on Yarpen. Like for 30 stats, maybe even for 40 stats later. So, I mean, if this Fiend is coming on Yarpen, I mean, he's taking 8 stats from him away, and that's like
too?
punishing himself for like
I don't agree with.
If he decides to play the Twisted Mirror in this round, that is.
Well, it's possible that he still plays Twisted Mirror.
Okay, well, still, yeah, I would have waited because he's gonna buff that fucking card.
Units, and he's probably going to be able to create a row that's more favorable to Commander's Horn.
And ideally, you want one of those cards to get high, because you want his super high. You want one card to get super high. You play the lowest, the Silver Mirror, so your 2 1s turn into whatever his highest unit is.
Get ahead with the same buffing strategy.
That's what I would have done. Then I would have
locked. I
locked
also wanted to maybe set up a situation
the other unit, because then that 8 would have been a 1.
Safe against Agilize, so that might have also been one reason to play that way.
I don't
but
agree
then
with that
maybe
early on. He's playing a buffing deck. You know he's going to buff it more.
Fairly clear. It's also interesting to say that Eithne is actually
he would have got
already
so much more value out of that Twisted Mirror.
Doesn't even have access to double horn any longer. So if he decides to play, let's say, one horn or make OG 14 stats, Mogwai will still be able to at least swap 26 stats, and that's huge enough.
Yeah, it's I mean, just a lot of stuff has been played already. Like, it's actually a very deep round one at this point. You know, we've seen. I think the fact that Ithleen and Ethna are off the table changes a lot of the ways that Game King can really win this game.
Yeah,
in the traditional way the dwarves do win with you know, building huge units and then being able to apply that resilience.
Yeah.
Here comes the Commander's Horn, so now
look at that.
Becker's
Like,
looking
that just makes it look like I don't understand.
But Mogwai wants to see more buffs.
So yeah, he wants to get his money's worth with Becker's.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Ursaman coming down, giving probably even.
Guess he can still switch that 14.
I mean, looking at these hands right now, Mogwai will be able to take this with Becker's in any situation at this point. I mean,
I just think if he would have played it in a different order, Game King would have just maybe gave up the round.
We know that Becker's is very strong.
Yeah.
Once he saw that happen.
So no matter where the
this now you're like playing it so late, like he's just gonna like
28 stats, and that's like really huge.
They must be doing something like.
I think Game King is pondering even playing at this point. I mean, he's the options here. It's dwindling here. I mean, look at Mega Mogwai's last two cards are powerhouse cards. Game King just has the Merc, which is probably going to draw a Thunderbolt Potion. It's possible that the Adrenaline Rush is on the table. I mean, we've seen the one immune boost. There is the Adrenaline Rush, so
yeah.
When the Fiend has already been played, so this could. And now the Becker's doesn't necessarily. Well, it definitely does not affect the carryover. The only difference would be if Gelf's Spirit, the Fog takes on Oldgeared, bringing him down to 12, and then a Lucky Beckers could maybe swap the stats on Yarpin. But I mean, that's obviously not the case. Woodland Spirit isn't even on the pick here for Gels.
It's like 6 stats, 10 stats carry over for Mogwai, and at the moment, like 25 stats carry over for Game King. Okay, that's interesting.
I mean, what is Caretaker? I mean, Caretaker could pull a dwarf out of the graveyard here, but Caretaker is on the top of the deck as well, so you can do a lot of stuff. You can pull Yarpin. You can have Yarpin on your side if you wanted. Caretaker does have a lot of options with dwarves.
Okay, so I guess Mega Mogwai will definitely invest this Twisted Mirror in order to win the round. I mean, it only makes sense.
Yeah.
One card to win the round.
There it is.
Do so. But he also overstats us now by quite a lot, by 24, so I'm really not sure whether that was the right choice.
I mean, this is the first round that went all the way down. First round, all cards played. Like, I don't think this happened yet in the series, unless I may have missed it. But that's the deeper round one as you could possibly have.
Oh, this Harpy will be important. This Harpy will be super important.
I don't see why you would play a lot
and he mulliganed it away.
All they're doing is
okay, he got an Ursaman. That's fine as well. I mean, the Harpy is 6 stats, the Ursaman is 4
stats
for the future rounds. It's not too bad, guys. So, yeah, but it's just about the resilience. I mean, Mogwai knows that the resilience is out of the deck, which means he can just bleed Game King by just playing a card, while knowing that Game King has no options to give himself resilience besides a resilient dwarf, right? And the Harpy would have represented 6 stats for the future, like 6 future stats, whereas a dwarf is maximally also representing the same. So, yeah, that would have definitely been an option.
Aglace in hand for Game King, so there are options here because some special cards, a lot of special cards have been played now. So we know that Becker's Twisted Mirror and Commander's Horn can be played one more time, so we will actually get that double horn if he really wants to.
Yeah, but it's not actually doing...
No. I mean, you might as well just take a Thunderbolt Potion, but just, it's possible.
Okay. Yeah. So Aglace can resurrect from the opponent's graveyard only?
Yeah.
Yeah,
from opponent's graveyard only. It costs 4 stats on Aglace.
Exactly.
But there's Mogwai. Unlike the last time we saw Game King with Aglace in hand, I think recently, it was against the Reveal Nilfgaard, where no special cards were played whatsoever.
Right.
So at least there's an option here.
I was thinking about because of the horn. I think there is no horn there, but yeah, it's like Twisted Mirror, Thunderbolt Potions, all those viable options. I mean, that's for sure. So yeah, Game King has to even have to think about whether he wants to play a card. But I mean, obviously he will, and Igni is very predestined to do so, right?
Oh, he's going for it now. I wonder what this is going to be.
That's interesting because
he may not make a choice.
It will be a dead card in the last round, so. I'm really curious whether that's the right choice. I mean, Igni is just really 4 stats. It's just a mulligan, and the card quality from GameKing's deck should be really, really low. So I'm not sure about that.
No carryover here. Yeah, no way to apply any sort of carryover. And we do know that there is carryover from, well, it's only a difference of 2. Spoiled Spirit, what a draw. That's the top deck you want to see.
Whoa, that's
yeah, like take that, no problem.
I thought it was done. He might be able to do it.
Yeah, I guess you take the 2 cards.
Yeah, I think you maybe think about that for about half a second. Hit accept.
Pretty good, pretty good stuff.
I mean, all the players got all their golds. Do we see the Igni get mulliganed away for a Thunderbolt Potion? This is, Mogwai's going to take this one.
Yeah, Mogwai is definitely going to take this one.
Dagon doing Dagon things.
And that's why you ban monsters.
Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, that's true, but Nilfgaard would have probably also take the win.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, Emir went undefeated. And then Caretaker takes this one. Mega Mogwai going up 1 game in the finals already, best of 5 series. Taking Yarpin just for a little extra, sticking it to him. Yeah.
He could have basically also just passed, right?
He could have, yeah. He could have. But, you know.
Safe pass.
It's fine, yeah.
Okay.
Everybody wants to play Dwarves, even Monsters.
Yeah. Not only Dwarves,
Drain pipes are only promising lead.
So that was good. Okay, so Mega Mogwai is going up one step closer to this championship round.
Of guests should be able to
and
tell you
I mean, it's also very, very important. I mean, this whole tournament is of course quite important. You also see that many of the players are kind of tensioned. Besides this being a very relaxed atmosphere there, of course very tensioned because there's a lot on the line, just because it's the first big LAN tournament after the Grand Challenger took place. But not only is it about that, but it's also about showcasing the scale in front of all of you guys. And Mega Mogwai specifically because he told us that yeah, he is known for playing Nilfgaard and also, let's say, not always the maximal competitive decks. And sometimes people are even joking that, yeah, maybe he might not be that competitive. So for him, this is really like the field to prove himself.
Yeah.
And he's doing so. Yeah. And being in the finals now, already taking the first game, going up 1-0. Yeah. That's just really awesome.
And we know GameKing's been a #1 player. Like he's absolutely, he's a fantastic player on the ladder, and he's proven himself very, very, very well in this tournament. And but I mean, Mogwai I think is, probably surprising some people, but I think a lot of people are really happy to see. You know, it's always that unexpected stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he also brought Nilfgaard, and that worked really well for him.
Yeah.
So very innovative and also very skilled. So that's awesome to see.
And Mogwai's got a lot of fans as well, so I'm sure that they're really psyched to see this already. And you know, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. It's just 1 game, but it's a great start. You always, you're pretty happy winning your first game.
By the way, what about Happen?
His deck list also
has access to the bathhouse whenever he wants.
He wants a piece, fight for it.
Fight for it.
Then we have some Skelligan. He's got Speed Thrust.
And here it is too. That's what he's playing here. So we're going to see more Queensguard action. Mogwai and I both buy Queensguard, so our lists are very similar as well. So we're going to have to see Queensguard get another win here for sure.
Yeah, we can also just compare.
But I didn't pull Philippa Eilhart out of a Kaviri prison the night before her
execution. We just check it out.
Yeah, this is a discard list versus a Queensguard list, and it's the differences are. It's really the Queensguard are like the main difference. Well, and of course the ships for King. So
yes.
The ships are the pressure point for GameKing, whereas the Queensguard are the pressure point for Mogwai. Each one has a different avenue. They're both kind of the same sort of big swings. I mean, this is more like we were talking earlier about how ships are cards like warships and stuff like Raven Elves. Like it's kind of like a very aggressive type of card, as it can provide you sometimes more value than weather.
Yeah,
in some cases, especially if you can get to it.
But ships are also extremely vulnerable to stuff like Madman Lugo. So, I mean, usually a Queensguard's list doesn't really have priority targets. You cannot really shoot anything from them. Because, I mean, you can shoot everything from them, but at the center was nothing, because nothing has special abilities. While if those 6 stats are going on the ship, that also, I mean, it's not only about dealing 6 stats, which is at the same time annihilating a draw card, but at the same time, this Madman Lugos is also undermining the second ship of being played, because if the second ship is being played, Mega Mogwai can just opt into pass and confirming whooping card advantage. So
yeah, no, that's very true. I think Lugos as a removal early on is such a strong play, and it really can dictate the rest of the game at that point. But it does tie it when you play the Priestess. I mean, Game King with 3 Priestess in hand, not always ideal in the first round, as there's, you know, as the round goes long and there's nothing really in the graveyard. Sometimes
where should I start?
And Signature on top of that.
South of the main square.
I mean, Mega Mogwai could even opt in to pass now. I mean, if he passes now, even so Game King would have 2 options. Either he needs to play a card, I mean, that's very good for Mega Mogwai, or he passes and then he's just 1 whooping card ahead in the next round, basically equaling out the round. So I would actually really love to see a pass here. I think it would be very strong.
And there's so many plays. I mean, the operator into Queen's Guard is very
it's good as well.
It's ideal as well. And then, you know, King Bran. King Bran's a great play. I mean, you want to get this stuff done early. I mean, we don't see, you know, Dragondu is not present at the time, and neither is Holger. So, you know, a lot of the benefits of you know, of making great use of your Queen's Guard not available to Mogwai right now. But the operator is a huge combo, and I think that, you know, the operator hasn't always lined up with Queen's Guard. We've seen a lot of operator Reaver Hunters, but not a lot of operator Queen's Guard.
Yep. I don't know. I normally see him. He's
Mogwai
like
just opting to play the Pirate Captains to the deck out and just
discarded.
This round going a little bit.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, just conceding the first round. And you're right. The 2 cards is a big deal, but you know, neither player quite, you know, giving up a round can be make or break, especially with what both decks can do. I think with 1 single card, the Queen's Guard can be, you know, 20+ points, and you know, can carry over for round 3 or for round 2 for Game King. You can see Morkvarg and Olgud coming back, bringing back Ceres, and you know, there's a lot that can happen basically immediately in round 2 that you'd have to combat right away. So tapping out those resources in round 2 is fair, and of course getting the operator on the Queen's Guard and kind of setting up your brand is also very important.
Yeah, also really looking forward to it. I mean, Game King could only utilize 1 ship until this very moment, because last round, if you would have played the ship, Mega Mogwai could have just passed then. But now, Game King really has the opportunity to deploy the second ship, and yeah, I mean, now we have a position which is basically the same like last round, just with the difference that, yeah, that Mega Mogwai will have 1 less card if you would opt in to pass now. Yeah, I mean, the Spy is definitely a very nice option. I definitely don't mind seeing the Spy coming down here, because that basically forces Game King to, well, just counter Spy because he has it. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah. I think I would like it more if Mogwai had set up the Queen's Guards already, so when he plays the Spy, at least he has the option to bring his Queen's Guard out to kind of get back into the round. I feel like the Spy. I feel like the Spy is maybe together now, sure, but it's probably we're just going to see Ulrich getting traded back and forth. Ceres happy to be discarded now. Now Bran has options with Ceres already in the graveyard. That's probably like your best possible outcome for Ulrich.
Yeah, that's great for him, and he also has the option to Korra. And at the moment, we don't see Korra in Game King's hand. So I think if the Korra will come down, she might create a very, very big tempo swing towards Mega Mogwai.
Yeah, this is very good too for Game King, getting a Raider out automatically, making Udaric much higher value, and possibly getting another warship. With 2 Freyas in round 2, we could see 3 warships in round 2 on top of that. You may be satisfied with the 2 ships here though. But yeah, that Udaric trade, you only live once.
Yeah, but I think the warship resurrection probably won't take place, because I mean, Game King tries to get value now this round. So I would be surprised if those resurrections would go out on the ships, because then you don't have resurrections left for the important things. Like,
yes.
Yeah. Usually that's you want to resurrect key cards. If you resurrect ships, you don't have resurrection.
I don't like mirror matches.
Game's still very close here. Mogwai is set up to make. I mean, Mogwai can have probably a couple of opportunities to play. And, you know, there is no Dragondu at this point, and Holger is not around as well. So the Queen's Guard are just going to be 4-5-5. I mean, just going to be 14 points, but that's fine as well. It allows him to have a lot of reach in a pass situation, and possibly enough reach to get ahead to pass. But, you know, the decks are very similar. It's going to be hard to do that.
I don't care about watching them.
As Bran is coming down now for Game King, both leaders being activated. we've seen this deck discard Olgierd and Morkvarg, and I think the Skirmisher was the last card that was discarded.
Yeah, I mean that's usually how you want to approach it.
I haven't ran into
many times.
The mirror match in the
you still don't see Craig from 2 in Mega Mogwai's hand, so that's
because I'd have to look at my thing.
Disadvantage for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he will also be able to have more access to Ceres because Queensguard, obviously resurrecting Queensguard is immediately resurrecting Ceres.
I think I did lose so far. Lost once against monsters and once against myself in rank.
No, she's coming out this time here, and it's.
I only have 2 losses at the moment.
I apologize. There's one more tick to go, but with 2 priestesses in hand, it just.
With that newest deck in rank.
Yeah, definitely.
Right back into this round.
Definitely. Yeah, he definitely wants to make this resurrect for Ceres at least, because she's like simply 7 stats for free, so you definitely don't want to miss up on them, or like 6
so
stats.
I added a Scorch in there.
Discarded by the hero power, but
before I didn't have a Scorch.
But that's 6
got rid of one of the swipes for the
And especially because you have that 4th Queensguard, so you know that you're happy to get Ceres ticking down and out in round 1, because every time you play your Queensguard, you get her automatically
mileage on that shackle yet. But that let me freed up my silver shackle for the silver ambush card.
That's right.
Which has gotten me a win.
Better for round 2.
I think I've won twice with that ambush
he
card.
won't get it
like
immediately if he only plants a Queensguard, because then there are like 3 resurrections. But once all the Queensguard are grabbed,
not Cleaver, but the Squirtle,
that's very
unique one. Which
but I mean, we see both players
that also moves the unit and puts a
lock on. 3 reses in Mogwai's hand, and Game King's
like
reses in hand.
Who's
shackled more available. So it's interesting that the round 1, like they're both fighting.
So I got rid of him
for
the bronze
you're kind of on a clock a little bit because here comes a priestess right now. This will trigger Ceres.
Yeah, Skirmisher and Ceres.
What'd you say?
Here she comes.
He is better than Cleaver, but I don't have Cleaver either.
Right, so just the Cora is red, threatening to how much
I have no lock. I had no. The only lock card I had was that silver one, but then I switched it out for the bronze. Can lock
I feel like Mega Mogwai is kind of like ahead of Game
that
King,
silver card for the ambush
Game King
silver.
Ceres is not. I think she's at 3 last time we saw it. We're gonna take another peek here, I think.
With the added fact that I can use a mercenary call to potentially pull
very
out
likely to come out in
the
round 2,
shackles
but
if I need it.
Mogwai has a lot
Where
more
before I
control.
couldn't use a mercenary to pull out shackles.
Yeah.
He's considering it.
I mean, she's 23 stats at this very moment, so I wouldn't definitely not mind this play. I mean, it's just really strong. 23 stats golden card, putting you ahead 18 stats. I mean, we know that Game King will be able to play Ermion, but and Ermion will also be enough.
Ermion's devastating.
Yeah, I mean, Mogwai is standing in the fog, and it's also taking all the shield
because
damage.
The leader
so
is gonna, the hero power would like get buffed up and then be...
Yeah, but Ermion's going to be Ermion's going to count for what is that 12 damage just in
and then
Kings
I shackle that leader and score.
Raiders come in from Ermion on top of that, so 12, 7, 19 plus maybe an additional, could be up to 23 points. Which,
exactly.
Which is enough, more than enough at this point to come back.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, you want to utilize it now while you can, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And there is a Raider. He did draw one.
Well, that's good enough. I mean, the fog would have been enough anyway, so he didn't really need the Raider. Yeah. But he is pretty happy to be able to
consume the units on the left and right.
Yeah, pitch that Queensguard.
Yeah, because of Morkvarg and Olgierd,
can also shackle that dirty rat and just throw him on my board.
Should let Game King win the round. But yeah, so the only question is when.
Yeah.
Because it's not really useful for Mega Mogwai to lose the round, to win the round, because of the carryover Game King has anyways. Like he will have 8 carryover.
Yeah.
So it's better, like if your opponent has carryover, it's better to play from behind.
I mean, we see Mogwai's head. Mogwai has the capability of taking this round. 2 captains versus 1, and they both are stuck with kind of the resurrection. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the graveyard at this point. I think Mogwai just surely because he just has more options. If you really
maybe you might don't try going all out with him.
But
I don't know.
it's tough. Mog is ticking.
Early.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
The ships. I mean, he doesn't know what's in the concept. It could be, another huge barrage of cannonballs from the ship. Do you want to take that risk?
Yeah, I'm really not sure. But I mean, most of the discard stuff has already been played. So, I mean, wouldn't really mind the Pirate Captain here. Focus also only dealing 1 damage, and then that's it. So yeah, why not?
I don't know, the Pirate Captain is so strong.
Just forcing him to take action.
Yeah, the only discards we haven't seen from Game King are Donar, and Madman Lugos. We have seen Mogwai's Madman, but not Game King's. But those cards are not in Game King's hand. Mogwai could still make the assumption that it could be.
Ideally, you do because they have a lot of veteran cards that get strongest on round 3. Ideally, you want to win the first 2 matches.
Do the same again. Just playing this Pirate Captain. Forcing out
the more rounds it takes, the more advantage the Vikings have.
I mean, the question really is what's more valuable, right? I mean, Mega Mogwai can play another Pirate Captain in order to force the worst card out of Game King's hand, and maybe that's not even worth it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the Priest is probably looking for the Skirmisher on Game King's side to actually, if he wants to keep investing into this round.
I mean, at this point, it's becoming more and more expensive to play cards, so everything has to be weighted very, very well.
Mogwai kind of weighing his options here.
Yeah, I mean, he will have some options to resurrect those Queen's Guard. I mean, one will be to play the Queen's Guard alone, like next round. Yeah. Now he's considering just
that might be it, just taking that card and going home.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So we have Olgierd is in the graveyard and Morkvarg as well. I'm not sure Ceres was on 2 or 3. The last time we saw it, I think I saw 3, but there was a Raider who played for Hermione. So I do believe. Oh, Ceres definitely.
Yeah, Ceres will definitely come down.
Yeah, okay.
But I think it's not that devastating because
Headless Horseman, he likes those in a lot of his decks.
That Ceres by with playing 1 Queen's Guard, so that's kind of alright.
Yeah, that is.
At least has that Headless Horseman.
Making a huge comeback with a single card.
I'm seeing a lot of priestesses. That's like really important because those priestesses will be able to resurrect skirmishers. And yeah, I mean, Game King also drew a skirmisher, but that's not really valuable because this skirmisher won't get strong at all. So it's basically irrelevant just being a liability.
Switch something up to get that Headless Horseman in my dwarf
deck. At the same time, Mogwai will be able to resurrect both the Queen's Guard and the skirmisher 2 additional times. The Queen's Guard this turn with the Queen's Guard, and the skirmisher this turn and next round with Sigtreffer or with a standard Priestess. So
yeah,
really
so many options. But we'll see. We can see the skirmisher this round and next round, and see Queen's Guard both in this round and next round, and there's still a res left over on top of that.
That's right.
Yeah, no, the Mogwai's got a lot of power at his disposal right now. This is probably the Queen's Guard, right?
I think it might also be Ermion because Mega Mogwai might want to play or draw Craig, but not sure about this.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Well, only 5 cards left in Mogwai's deck. I mean, the odds are pretty good that he does draw. I mean, we know that Holger and Drake are both cards that he can't draw, and both of them will give value on. Well, no, not Holger. Sorry, Holger's going to go right on the skirmisher, but Drake for sure is. We just see the operator.
But I'm not even sure because his hand is very fine. I think I would have kept Ermion to cycle last round. I mean, there is a Raider though, he will come out for free. But still, because I mean, you don't get much value from Dona, so you might even end up discarding Dona, honestly. I mean, what is Donna doing, right? I mean,
yeah, the decision is Donna or one of the priestesses. I mean, we talked about how there's so many reses at Mogwai's disposal, but he is going to discard Donna.
I think it's very clever.
Yeah.
And now he can actually play this this Queen's card and also getting Sarah out again.
There goes Coral.
Really powerful. Yeah. So we will probably end up seeing both players having the same cards, the same amount of cards in their hand. Game King confirming a carryover though, like a carryover of 3 stats. And Olgierd will come back with 2, right?
Yeah, it's always it's always rounded down with the resurrection.
Exactly. So that will be a carryover of 3 stats, and that stands against the higher card quality which Mega Mogwai will be able to provide. Yeah, 4 stats, or let's say 6, 7 more stats because of the Queen's card alone, and then of course also 2 times the skirmisher. Yeah. So I'm really curious whether Game King does even want to continue the action here, because he should be really afraid that Mega Mogwai can just overcome his stats immediately. Oh, that might be a small
just Donner just to try to pull a card, and what was that, a Pirate Captain? That's that's the card that Mogwai wants to draw.
No, but honestly, I mean, Mega Mogwai can now just play the Queen's card and overcome the stats of Game King, netting an additional card advantage into the last round. I'm not sure whether Sigtreffer is doing the job though. I mean, if he would have if he would play Queen's card now, he could basically end up with 1 additional card advantage into the last round, probably winning him the game. I'm not sure whether Skirmisher is doing the same. I don't think so.
He is Donner. He is
He's also Donnering. Okay.
Well, I mean, that's fair. I mean, that's probably more effective than what Game King did. And when he got a Pirate Captain right back. One Pirate Captain traded for the other.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I mean, he could have just went into the last round with one whooping card advantage, and Game could have done nothing about it.
That's
I mean,
a card that people don't like either.
Core, but that would have just
so
not
random.
been enough. So, yeah, really surprised, honestly, that Mokwe didn't opt in for that play.
Yeah, I think he's just saving Queen's Guard for the pass, so he can just like boom, take it, and then he's just set up to his next round is set up very nicely with the 2 Priestess and a 16-point captain. Like that's actually like it's an ideal hand, and we've seen Mogwai has gone through his whole deck. The only cards he hasn't drawn are Drake Bandu and Holger.
Yeah, but he could have overcome his stats by quite a lot, by 8 actually, and Coral could have also not changed much about it. I mean, it would have been Coral, then it would have been Pirate Captain, or it would have been Resurrector. But yeah, it seems that Game King is actually continuing to play. So I mean, that's surprising as well. Oh wow.
Well, we've seen Game King put a lot of pressure, the res on the Pirate Captain.
To go all in.
No, sure, but is that enough? That's not enough again, right?
Playing a Priestess before the Queen's Guard.
Wow.
Oh, interesting.
Well, now he's only matching this. Oh man.
Wow.
Now he's only matching this. That's.
So he's waiting.
That's.
I mean, so the Queen's Guard, there were no buffs applied to the Queen's Guard. That's
so
still 14 points.
Well,
no, it's
like
more than that. It's the,
the Queen's Guard are 24 stats.
Yeah.
Like he could have just played the Queen's Guard and confirming the card advantage again. I mean, that's.
I wonder why he's choosing to hold on. I mean, the Priestess are more valuable, aren't they, in the round 3?
I'm not sure. I mean, maybe Mokwe. I mean, but yeah, I guess Mokwe is doing everything right because Game King seems to continue the gameplay. So maybe Mokwe also has a read on his opponent that he says, hey, if I'm gonna play this line, my opponent will still continue to play no matter what because he wants to squeeze out this value from Coral.
Yeah,
and he's right about it. I mean, Game King is just continuing to play.
Yeah, because the Coral value would be very high if the Queen's Guard were out, especially now with the Skirmisher. But I mean, there's only 3 plays that Mogwai can really make here, but he has to play. So Coral, he will have to face Coral at this point. And there's going to be this is going to be 12 points Coral, so 17.
I mean, at this point. I mean, even at this point, you could just play Queen's Guard, honestly.
Yeah, you can play Queen's Guard. I mean, Queen's Guard, definitely you want to play it before the last Priestess so you can get a series guaranteed.
I mean, you don't want to equalize the stats, right? I mean, that's...
I mean, it's tough, right? So Coral, I mean, Coral's going to get value wherever she goes at this point.
So he's looking at who...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so if Game King opts in to play Coral...
Maybe he should just... Oh no, I can't.
But he could just play Queen's Guard and then the Pirate Captain, right? It doesn't change. But if Game King would not have Coral in the hand, then Queen's Guard wouldn't be enough. So he could have also just say, hey, okay, maybe he doesn't have Coral. So
he is really reluctant to get those Queen's Guard. I mean, he's going to get Fairies at least, and Coral's going to be the last card. Game King does not have to play that. I mean, Queen's Guard takes it, right?
Yeah, but Game King still needs to. I mean, now Theory doesn't even come back.
Game King should just pass.
I mean, now, I mean, if Game King, for example, I mean, no matter whether he plays Coral or not, I mean, if he just decides to pass, Mega Mokwe will be forced to play the Pirate Captain or the Queen's Guard, both being equally bad for him. And even if he opts in for the Pirate Captain, this 4th Queen's Guard won't even be able to retrieve the other, retrieve Serial again. So I think
passes, makes the other guy
kind of
one more
very
card,
huge issue here.
And it'll
I
come
mean,
down to the last
clear
cards.
Mogwai just did not want to play the Queen's Guard this round, and it's possibly it's because of Coral.
And it's happening here. It's happening. Oh.
So now Fairies won't come out because it'll only be the 3 resurrections. So
yeah, but that's huge because if you would have played the, I mean, first of all, if you would have played the Queen's Guard, the Coral would have been a force play. So that's number 1, and number 2. If he would have played the Queen's Guard, even if he would have traded the Pirate Captain against Coral, even then, I mean, he would have, first of all, he would have created a card advantage in the last round, and second of all, he could have then resurrected one of the Queen's Guard, pulling the other Queen's Guard, also confirming Cyril. So we are probably talking about, like, what, 20 stats for last round or something? 6 from Cyril, 1 from the Resurrect, and maybe 30 from the card advantage.
I mean, it's important to note that Drake Bandu is a guaranteed draw in round 3 with a mulligan or just drawing it. So Mogwai will be able to draw Drake Bandu, play Drake Bandu, and then have the buffed up Queen's Guard, which is still going to be a fair amount of stats, but losing out on Ceres and having Coral in Game King's hand is, it is threatening.
Yeah, but he could have done it regardless. I mean, also with I mean, that doesn't change the play, right? I mean, obviously he's keeping Holger. But that actually doesn't play the order of play. I mean, he could have also played Craig Bondu even with 4 Queensguard in the deck. Oh, he should not mulling it.
You don't think so?
This is like 11 stats. Craig Bondu is only 10 stats.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. That is fair. I mean, but Holger would need a target to actually get those stats. Right now, there's a 1 point Morkvarg on the
yeah,
table.
but that's enough. That's 11 stats. That's like 7 plus 1 on the Morkvarg plus 3. That's 11.
But that doesn't get applied to the Queensguard necessarily. I mean, look at that skirmisher, though.
Oh, no, that's true. No, you're right.
I mean, there's no way to res it.
It gets put on
it
this.
Gets put
no,
on
you're right. You're right.
No way to res it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, this Coral, she will just win, right?
Yeah, it's tough to ignore the fact that Coral is going to be able to decimate these Queensguard. So I believe this is a top. Well, is it? Let's see here.
Oh man, this here, oh man.
And Ceres, yeah, the miss out on Ceres because the Queensguard, I think that I do agree that the Queensguard should have come out in round 1, and just enough, yeah. And the Queensguard should have come out in round 1 because Ceres was the difference there. He was playing around Coral in round 2 the whole time, and ultimately Coral ended up beating him anyway.
Yeah, it's insane. It's like these small decisions are really switching the entire gameplay.
So 1-1 here. Queensguard, we'll see Queensguard again now from Mogwai. Well, if he chooses to play it, of course. And Game King ties it up in the finals here.
Oh, yeah. That's really awesome.
On to the next one. So I mean, yeah, I think that, playing Queensguard in round 2 to guarantee that Ceres comes out with the Priestess. I mean, I do think Drake Bondu was the right call, but missing out on Ceres was the decider, I think. I'm trying to think of how the round would have gone if he had played Queensguard and Game King, for whatever reason, played Coral, and would Mega Mogwai have expended all of his cards to take back what Coral would have taken from him, and then it would have just been a top deck Holger or Drake Bondu with no res nor Queensguard to pull it out. I'm wondering if Mogwai was kind of pinched in a position where he wasn't really in a good position to win the round anyway.
Oh no, but if he would have played the Resurrection on the Queensguard and Games King would have played Coral, the Pirate Captain would have also been enough to take the round.
Yeah, the Pirate Captain, right, 16 points. Fair enough, yeah.
So that would have been enough, so it would have been exactly the same, but with Mogwai being able to get 1 set from the Priestess, and 6 sets from Cyril, and an additional card, which he also didn't have. It's basically just leeching Coral from Game King's hand, or leaving him Coral, but confirming another additional card, which we know is the Pirate Captain, right?
Right.
So it's either minus Coral plus 7 stats, or it's plus 23 stats, and with no drawback. So it's
yeah, we see it now in hindsight. I mean, Mega Mogwai. I mean, these players aren't. It's like this is the finals, right? They are maybe overthinking some of these plays, and I think that Coral is just so threatening. Sometimes it's just making sure that your rows are as low as possible while still staying ahead enough to win. And well, we'll see how Mogwai plays this round with Queensguard as Game King moves back to Ethna. So both of these decks have lost. We're looking for a win here, so it's kind of a tiebreaker.
No, I mean, of course. I mean, I think, maybe both players might do some overthinking, but it's also, of course, I mean, being in the finals, a high-pressure situation. And that being said, it has also been a very long day. So those two players are already played like more than 5 hours each. But it's not only about the 5 hours of gameplay, but it's also about the probably. I mean, we started at 10, so that's like already. Yeah, a lot of hours, like more than 12 hours being played, so more than half of a day. And so, I mean, those players are naturally tired. And I guess it's not only a combat and a battle of wits here, but it's also a little bit a battle of stamina.
Yeah. Tournaments are always a test of endurance. And we saw Challenger was a 10-hour broadcast. And that was, fairly tight as well, like on top of the fact. But I mean, 7 series best of 5. We've been here doing this. We've had a lot of fun today, and it's been a long day. And everybody joining us today to watch this, it's been a long day for you as well. And we're here at the finals, but these players have been you know, talking about Gwent, strategizing and planning, and there really is no rest when you know that you have another match coming up. You know, you have a moment to be happy that you won, but then you know that a harder opponent is coming next. So, you know, Mega Mogwai, since he played first as well, he played first against Impetuous Panda. He's been active, like he's been active the longest.
That's
whereas Game King had his semifinal match much later in the day, so he's been active a little bit less time. So, I mean, it may not actually matter, but it's just worth noting.
Oh yeah, it comes down to those things. Yeah, it's really the question as well, like who of those two got or keep the better nerfs.
Oh, Holger is so good here, by the way. Just getting back to the
it's
game
insane.
here.
It's
Yarvin
insane.
is
like
locked.
Crazy.
Holger's going down. The Queensguard's getting buffed. Mogwai is in a great position already in this game.
Yeah, and out of that also because Game King didn't happen to draw. It's already late. Like, what is the buff dwarf? Who buffs them all? Dennis.
Oh, Dennis.
Yeah.
Right.
So
well,
only because Game King didn't get Dennis, but actually
Dennis
he's
actually
not playing Dennis. He's actually playing. That might be the reason.
yeah. The fact. Yeah, exactly. Like you know, when you don't play Dennis, 5 is a pretty vulnerable number. There's a lot of units that actually can take care of 5 strength, and you know, 6 strength is difficult, especially when you all you need is your dwarf to stick for 1 round, so you can buff it up and make it even harder to remove. But all of the dwarves are present in Game King's hand, so we're going to have to see. Mogwai's going to have a solution for all of these here. And without, I mean, we've seen the 2 major plays here, Donar with the lock, probably hoping to grab a Mahakam Defender, but they were all in Game King's hand anyway, so it wasn't even a possibility. I didn't see what was pulled, though. So I don't know if, oh, we're going to see it. It was a Thunderbolt potion. Okay. Good timing, Mogwai.
Okay, so there's a parrot. This is cycling out the other ones, sure. So, I mean, there is no Atheline in Game King's hand yet, and usually, naturally, you want Atheline to be able to toggle resilience on all your minions and all of that stuff. So, yeah, really looking forward how this will play out.
See, it's tough here. There's not really an answer at this point. I mean, Mogwai just has to, at some point, I mean,
Mogwai might just opt into pass here. Or maybe playing the Queensguard and then opting into pass. It makes a lot of sense because it basically undermines the gameplay of dwarves. So maybe playing, okay, so he opts in for the Clanny Moon Pirate Captain. But I mean, if you just opt in to play the Queensguards here, I mean, that's...
Queensguard very strong, 17 points, I believe. I think Holger buffed one of the ones at 5 to 8, 5 and 4, 17,
I mean, Udarik might also just do the same.
Because you can come back with the Queensguard. Yeah, I think that's a fine play as well. Not a lot of other options though, unless you wanted to start playing your Pirate Captains early.
Yeah. But I actually like the Queensguard way more, because with the Queensguard you can just play the Queensguard and then say goodbye, and I think that's like a very, very powerful play. Specifically also this buff on the Queensguard, it's so good. And I really think after seeing, I mean, Mega Mogwai actually saw all of the resilient dwarves from Game King being played, so why should he actually continue to play? He can just opt out and say, hey, yeah, you will get your carryover for 1 round, but hey, what do you do the turn after, right? I mean, that's really the question. And if he just opts in and pass, Mega Mogwai will have the ability to play just the Queensguard, just down the Queensguard, and get Ceres for free.
Exactly.
So that would make the cards in the last round even, but definitely not the card quality, guys. Yeah, because dwarves, as we know, gets all the power and the quality from being able to have some carryover, and if you undermine and prevent that, then it's looking very dire for the dwarves.
Now that Elven Mercenary had the option of a rally or an adrenaline rush, and the rally was chosen for this dwarf mercenary.
Absolutely. I definitely think
building a commander's horn row here potentially.
Yeah, that's the time to pass now.
Yeah, I mean 10 points ahead. I mean, yeah, commander's horn would take it, but you don't have to worry about a double commander's horn, the carryover that threatens with.
Yeah.
I wonder if Mogwai's going to pass here. I think that that's pretty realistic. Oh, he's going to just play. Yeah, well, we said the options were pretty limited outside of the Pirate Captain. There's really not a lot you can do unless you wanted to play Udalric. So.
I mean, you could still pass after the horn. I mean, that's still a possibility.
It's true. It's only going to be tied.
But yeah,
passing on even cards against dwarves does not feel very good.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, but that's that's kind of the position he's put in now. We also at the same time know that Game King doesn't play Zoltan, so maybe it's even set-upping Coral, because usually against a Dwarf player, because there's Zoltan in the deck lists and is being played, it's actually quite difficult to set up Zoltan to set up Coral against Dwarves, because they can actually Commander's Horn, and afterwards, because they know that you won't play Coral, because they believe that you resurrect Commander's Horn again with your hero ability, instead of resurrecting Commander's Horn, the Dwarf player can actually split off those dwarves with Zoltan, but that's obviously not a possibility for Game King here, because he just doesn't play Zoltan. Which brings him in kind of a difficult spot. I mean, would he like to pass here, giving the Skellige player the option to just overcome with one card? That looks very weird. But does he really want to do something else? Then he might run into Coral, and Coral, I mean, in this position is like representing 36 stats. So not really sure about that either. I mean, a Coral for 36 stats. I mean, that's something.
Yeah, I mean, that's you know, Coral is a very, very powerful card. Lots of swing. Udalryk was, I mean. Well, Mogwai is not even hesitating. He's just going to keep going in here. I mean, I thought after Udalryk and then Game King plays an additional card, that could have been also an opportunity to pass. But now it's getting tougher and tougher to go into the next round without playing Coral. 13 strength for each of these when it can be knocked down to the base 6. At least to take the round if necessary, and I think that Coral might actually be that. I think Mogwai is just going to stick around until he gets the opportunity to play Coral, which he will, because he gets the last play. If this goes all the way to the end of the round, like the last time we saw at Queen's Guard.
I mean, it's perfectly alright, right? I mean, this Coral will deliver more and more. Just having the knowledge of Game King not running Zoltan, I mean, that's very huge. I mean, that definitely decides also the way Mogwai is choosing and opting into play here. And it's very clever. Game King really thinking about the pass here. Not sure though. Not sure whether he should.
Yeah, he's going to do it. He's going to take the pass. Dwarves generally push, and then, and Mogwai immediately looking at Coral as the solution.
Yeah, I mean, he should definitely do so. Yeah, it's one card and he can overcome. He can even reduce the carry-over stats. Yeah, I mean, there is... Unless 6-3 is also overcoming the stats, which I'm not sure. Does she? Is Sari coming? Yes.
To bring back, I'm trying to think of the cards. Yeah, Sari's. I'm trying to think of the cards that are in Mogwai's graveyard at this point. He has 4 cards in the graveyard.
I like.
He just took a peek and I glanced away. He's gonna take another peek for us. Thanks, Mogwai. 2
pirates.
pirates. Yeah, just 2 pirates is the option here. It is?
No, he can resurrect the pirate and then he overcomes by 1 stat. 17. I mean, that's definitely also not too bad. I mean, it's juicy. Keeping Coral.
Keeping Coral, yeah. I mean,
no, I actually.
Coral is you know, in round 3 very, very important.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
just
that's
getting
definitely
there.
Viable. And this series, I mean, I heard she comes back for free.
Yeah. No, especially with that. Well, there was only the 3 Queen's Guard. We didn't see an operator, so I think that, I mean, she will come back.
Yeah, he will be able to draw some things though, so it's not.
Well, Ermion, yeah, there's Drake Bondu, great draw. And Ermion could still source. I think there's still a Raider in Mogwai's deck, so that could be one of the extra tick that Sarius needs.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I'm also not exactly sure whether Mogwai even wants to play any kind of cards here. Oh, also very important for Game King to draw a Selene. So
yeah,
but he didn't do so. Yeah, he breaked on her. And
drew Moran with no Isengrim as well. It's the first time we've seen that, I believe.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's a little bit weird.
Suboptimal stuff happening with Game King right now, and Mogwai drawing the cards that he's looking for. I mean, Ermion and Drake Bondu, you take that any day. Those are great draws.
Yeah, I guess Mogwai passes. I can definitely
gonna let it go.
That play. Yeah, it's definitely clever to do so. Because he really doesn't want to encounter some resilient buffs, right? He doesn't want that he plays out Craig Bondu and becomes answered by a Game King actually giving resilience out to these dwarves.
And I think it's going to be very, very clear that Mogwai's in a good position because the Adrenaline Rush isn't going to come out here. It's just going to go. It's all going to go away. It's going to be a blank board.
Yeah.
I don't think Adrenaline Rush was played at any point, so not even Ethnic can pull it out. Yeah, this is nothing.
Right.
Nothing Game King can do. It's going to be a blank board round 3. Generally, dwarves don't have that happen, they're usually able to keep something on the board. Madman
oh wow, that's
so
huge.
good.
That's so good.
Mogwai's been getting some good draws in this series, I think.
But he might just want to get rid of Drake Bondu, really, because Drake Bondu is representing 10 stats, and 10 stats is the worst card he has in his hand at the moment. Or just not mulling at all, probably. It's also fine.
Under pressure, on that mulligan timer is actually really short, especially under pressure. So it's possible that he would I think he might just be reviewing his deck right now as he looks at his graveyard. It's like, should I have mulligan? But I think Drake Bondu is fair. I'm trying to think. Operator, he could end up getting Operator, and that wouldn't have been a great card either. That would be much less than Drake Bondu. So I think that's enough. Maybe being wary there. At this point, you don't want to see Operator.
Yeah, true that. Game King has worse card quality in his deck, but he also, at the same time, has one more card in his hand. And also still some golds, right? I mean, there's like Athleen, there's Aglais, so it's also not looking too bad for him, depending on what he has still in the deck. I mean, he will also pull some of this stuff soon, so we will also see about that. Moran being 11 stats, like...
Yeah, Moran's going to,
really
that's going to force Mogwai to have to play and Moran is down now, so the Pirate has to go down. The Pirate's going to tank that shot. From Moran.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah. And he should also first play Lugos and then Armian. And that will also come from Seri coming out, so that's not too shabby at all.
Yep. And the Queen's Guard the Queen's Guard's going to be good as well. Now, Athleen is finally in Game King's hand, so there are, some pretty big buff opportunities if, Moran's going to flip over and perhaps something could be established on the Citro for the potions as well.
That's right.
Yep. And Aglais as well. I mean, Mogwai does not play any special cards, so Aglais is just going to be a 10-strength body.
What's happening here? Oh, no.
No, you don't think playing Drake 1? Oh, no.
No, he's not playing.
No, he knows it's Moran. He knows, yeah.
Exactly.
It's funny, I didn't even consider that being an option, that he would do that. But no, Moran getting, decent value. But ultimately, no blocking of it. Olgierd just coming down as 11.
Yeah,
a lot of these cards
back, so yeah, sure, that's not exceptionally strong. But
a lot
at
of
least
this
it's a minion. I mean, it's basically trading the card for 11 stats. That's not too bad. It's not bad at all.
But we're seeing cards like, Athleen not really, it's round 3, right? So carryover is not important. Olgierd is going to be raw stats. The way that just trying to get as much value from these cards as possible. So Lugos just going to take the biggest thing and throw it at something.
Yeah, but it also decreased the value from Korra, so I'm not really sure how good that is. But
it depends on what Game King wants to do with his remaining units that actually could be targeted.
Throwing these, I mean, that's like 12 stats. I think
this is great.
One golden card, 19 stats.
Yeah,
you take that.
Kill Moran?
Yeah, it's really
Sure.
Let's do Sark.
And then the buff now, the Skirmisher is in... Is the Skirmisher in the graveyard? Or is there a Queen's Guard that's high? I don't know if we saw the Skirmisher.
There's a Queen's Guard in the graveyard.
So the Queen's Guard took that buff from Holger, I believe?
Yeah, she took the
Sorry,
buff.
that wasn't Holger. Long day. Sorry about that. That's not Holger, that's Lugos. I just had a complete blank on that.
So the Queen's Guard in the graveyard will represent kind of 17 stats. So, it's actually 18. It's actually 18 stats. Plus, of course, Seri coming out. So that's like 25 stats. I think the scary thing here is that Game King actually has the last say. So he will be able to opt in into the buff as the very last. The question will be whether he will have enough minions to buff, but I think so, because he also has the Mover Dwarf. So yeah, and another Mover Dwarf.
Yeah.
So yeah, that goes very well in line. And Game King will have the option to even Horn last round.
Yeah.
Even after Coral. And that's where the card advantage really comes in very handy. So Game King having one more card here is really of tremendous importance.
I'm wondering, I feel like Aglais is a fine play right now as well, because we know that Aglais is not going to be able to do anything else but just be a 10th-strength body. So, I mean, it seems like, you're making yourself a little bit more vulnerable to things, but it's possible that he just wants to see Coral as soon as possible and maybe give some opportunities. But seeing Aglais just as a 10th-strength gold body it seems like the correct line of play, because there's really...
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no extra vulnerability given, no extra opportunities for your opponent, but...
Oh wait, what? No, not the... What? The Drake Bondu is 10 stats, so you should always keep the Pirate Captain. It's even more, it's even 16 stats, right? Because of the discard. Holy moly.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Oh wow, what?
I wonder what the reasoning was behind that.
Yeah, I was also wondering.
I mean, Drake Bond is good, but the Pirate Captain is ultimately, like, that's just, we're talking about just raw power in this round and how important that is. It's possible that
he thought that he keeps his power?
I mean, it's maybe he was thinking that it's more valuable to play the Queen's Guard later and that it's going to be, you know, ultimately more like the Queen's Guard is...
No, I think he thought the Pirate Captain is keeping the power if he goes into the graveyard. Do you think that's a possibility?
I don't know. I don't think Mogwai would have thought that necessarily. It's just, I think maybe he just didn't evaluate it properly. Just trying to think about it. Just trying to put a little bit of extra consideration into it. Because the Pirate Captain pitching a 14 strength unit in favor of keeping 16, it 10 strength. It's tough. You know, it's tough to get behind that. But we're going to see how this plays out. Ithlane is representing a lot of points, as is Ethna. Aglace looks like to be the weakest card in Game King's hand, which is still a 10-strength gold body. So
Game King even has double dust.
Yeah,
he will be able to.
Yeah, it looks pretty good for Game King right now.
It's very good. Yeah, it's very good for him. Especially with his Commander's Aura, I mean, it's just so many awesome cards. So Mega Mogwai actually has to bridge 3 cards from Mega Mogwai while using 2. Yes.
Here comes Aglace with the Thunderbolt Potion was stolen from
yeah,
Donar.
Yeah,
yes.
Wow.
Right.
But it's only 6 stats because of Coral, so it's not that insane.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a little bit of more stats, and yeah, who would say no to additional bonus stats? It also depends on what spells Game King still has left in his deck, I guess, because depending on what spells he has. I mean, Coral is dealing some amount of damage. How much will it be? That will be 24, 29.
Yeah.
So 14 plus 29, 43. So Game King has to bridge 43. It will actually be super close, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Ithlane is probably going to take the Thunderbolt Potion. That's the most value you could possibly generate, and then Ethna is probably going to just take the Commander's Horn. And yeah, that's going to be tough, right? We know the Commander's Horn is 25 because there is no Saskia.
Oh, he's actually using the Commander's Horn first, which is yeah.
This is
very good. Oh, but he doesn't play Saskia. Oh.
Alzur's double cross instead to play the Merc into.
Oh wow, okay. Oh, this is some serious stuff here. Holy, oh wow, okay.
Now is that more stats? Was that more stats between 9 and 9, 18? I mean, no, it wasn't. Coral here, yeah.
And wow, that's like it's not enough. It's not. I mean, Aglace. But I mean, it won't be enough, guys. That's insane.
Mega Mogwai gonna take this. Now with okay, so if you did it the other way with Ithlane first, and then the Commander's Horn with Ethna. That's not more points. I mean, Ithlane, what is that? That's 24 points, it's 19 points.
It's less
19 points and 25 points, whereas the way they did it with Ethna and the Mercenary 9 and then the other that's 18 points.
No, but considering Coral, of course. I mean,
considering Coral, yeah. I mean, you had to buff something before Coral came down. Either way, I guess.
But I guess the misplay. I mean, misplay, but I guess Game King missed out on some. That's by. I think it was fine, right? Because if he plays Ithlane first, Coral will hit harder.
Yeah,
so
it's true.
He wants to play the hero power first, and then the question is what he opts in, like the Horn being 16 stats, but maybe only 8 if there's Coral, and you opted him to get the Mercenary for another 9 buff. Which is probably less, so he should have probably just take the Horn.
Yeah,
I think so.
For sure, for sure. I mean, yeah, it's always about mitigating Coral. You know the Coral is going to be there at the end, doing as much damage as possible. And I think we've seen Coral do. You know, the Skellige matchup with Dwarves it's very swingy depending on what you're able to actually secure. But I think in all of these games, Mogwai has been able to go through his entire deck. You know, the list that's running the Pirates that discard themselves, it's actually making his deck thin enough that he can reliably get almost anything he wants. I think in every game now, he's only ever had like 2 or 1 card left in his deck.
That's right.
So it just makes it very reliable to get Coral. And, you know, if the whole game plan with Dwarves is buffs, then Coral's always going to be a massive card. So I think that generally, especially in Gwent together, we have seen Coral kind of upset Dwarves on a regular basis. I mean, we've seen so many powerful Corals today, and that was one of them.
30, 40, 30,
yeah.
40, 50.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen crazy carryover at the same time, but Coral's always there just to say, no, this is my house. Yeah. Henselt finally making an appearance here. My apologies, this is a full test.
Full test.
Full test for Game King.
Actually, is it? Like, this is...
Well, that's Mogwai's list. Well, I'm not sure what... oh, no, we are looking at Mogwai.
It's
the mirror. It is the mirror.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
That makes more sense.
So, yeah, very interesting. Who do you think will have the upper hand in this matchup?
Well, Full Test has a lot of consistency and staggered power as well, but Henselt has a lot of tempo plays, like really huge reach and really easy ways to take rounds with with Henselt himself, especially with the Kidweni looks like it's the most promising thing, and I mean, it's possible that if Mogwai wants to open with the Kidweni Sergeant, he risks Kira coming out to stop that, and that's fine, right? You take Kira for that.
Yeah, I think the general idea with this gameplay is to exactly not play the Kidweni Sergeant, because if you play the if Mogwai would have opened with one of the, I always forget the name of the buffers.
The Knight Elect.
Of the Knight Elect. Yeah. And then Game King would have reacted on that by playing, I mean, he would usually play Foltest, but what I'm saying is if Game King opts in to play one Sergeant first, Mega Mogwai will be able and have the ability to operate one of the Sergeants. And that's like extremely powerful.
Right.
Because then you get an entire buff for your entire deck, but your opponent gets nothing.
Game King opting to not do, but here's the thing though, I mean, if Mega Mogwai wants, we know that Mega Mogwai isn't running something, well, no, not even Vest would protect, like, if Mega Mogwai goes to play Henselt on the Kidweni Sergeant, Kira Metz is waiting for him to just take out everything with the Epidemic, because the only other card on the table here is Dandelion, so, I mean, this is, I think that maybe Game King was considering it, and he was definitely considering Full Test, but, I mean, this Kira Metz, this could be the biggest epidemic of the series if this goes down the way I'm thinking it's going to go down. They're all going to be 6. Doesn't matter where they are. They are not safe from Kira.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that Kira Game King is rubbing his hands together, I imagine, in his mind.
I guess that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. There it is. Not a lot of hesitation here. Oh, Mogwai is not pleased. Not pleased.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's so much power being dependent on.
That is really rough.
Yeah.
I also have to say that, I mean, this Henselt, I mean, I was really, taking a look at Mogwai's list, we know that Mogwai is playing Nenneke, but we also know that Game King actually isn't playing Nenneke. So what I really was thinking that Mogwai goes for the play that he operates the Reaver Hunters, yeah, and then he has 4 Reaver Hunters. He can basically complete those Reaver Hunters also kind of with a Reaver Scout, and probably like this deciding the round for him. And afterwards he basically Nennekes all the Reaver Hunters into his deck again, playing 1 Reaver Hunter using Henselt to pull all 4 Reaver Hunters. And he can do that because Game King is not playing Henselt.
Yep.
Because if Game King would play Henselt and Nenneke, he could not do so. But in this very instance, he could just opt in to do so. I think Mogwai just played too quickly there.
It's always a consideration, especially when you're putting those points on the board. Kira Metz is she's proven to be one of the best golds for Northern Realms.
Yeah.
And Game King here has now put the copy on the Kidweni Sergeant. Mogwai has already done all his buffing. That Kidweni Sergeant is more or less useless to him. It's 4 stats.
Exactly.
But it's huge for Game King. It's going to bring everything into the 7 range, which is massive for the Temerian infantry men, and massive for the Reaver Hunters as well. So, and of course the
just this Kira Mies, right? Like 41 Kira Mies coming down. And I think Mogwai saw it coming. He just moved very quickly, just played out very quickly, and then realized it like 2 seconds later. And then he was just hoping, oh, please don't have her, please don't have her. But
yeah. It's tough. It's tough to make those wishes because they don't always come true.
Yeah, that's true.
There are. I was trying to think of the Henselt into Kidweni Sergeant is kind of where you want to end up, but he would have to play something that was going to be lower. But it's very hard to do that because Kidweni Sergeant is buffing everything on the way up to 6.
Right.
So
that's right.
Really, that's in the mirror. the Kiramets can be such a decider. I mean, Mogwai is, you know, pushed ahead here now, and there was a point where Game King could have passed a card up and with points, but we're seeing that like a lot of fight, you know, if you want peace, fight for it. If you want round one, you're going to have to fight for it as well.
That's right. Okay, so now there are a lot of these knight selects.
So Mogwai can make some stuff happen here. You can kind of build a little machine out of the Reaver Scout and the Knight Elect, and you know.
I definitely don't like this positioning at all. I mean, Mogwai knows that Game King is playing Igni in his list, so if he really opts into do this positioning he just chose to do, it will be only a matter of time until the operator will have the same strengths as the infantry, and then and then Game King will be able to completely devastate Mogwai by playing this Igni.
I mean, there is the option that
playing something
the Reaver Scout going onto the other side of Operator, even though it's not optimal, at least it keeps Operator always ahead. So we'll see if Mogwai wants to do that left side buff here.
Yeah,
but I mean, otherwise,
to disrupt it. Yeah,
otherwise it's going to line up right now. Yeah,
that's clever. That's very clever.
And I mean, there's always the opportunity that he can put something on the other side of the Knight Elect later.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, I think it's Mogwai is definitely considering using the Reaver Scout. It's just where is he going to place that Knight Elect?
I think it's very strong to have like 3 Knight Selects on your board, buffing you for 6 each turn. I mean, that will definitely give him the round because, I mean, against 6 stats every round, there's little Game King can do to prevent this.
Well, I mean, at this point now, I mean, the positioning of the Reaver Scout actually prevents the infantrymen from reaching the Operator.
Exactly.
Operator is always going to be ahead in this case, so in this case, it's actually more optimal than Knight Elect actually getting the 2 buffs per turn.
That's really good.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. He's protected.
So yeah, Game King also considers continue to play or not. I mean, he knows that there are a lot of Reaver Hunters potentially for Mega Mogwai.
It's a fair pass. I mean, you know, just that little 1-point advantage forcing. I mean, Mogwai will at least get to get value out of that otherwise useless Kedwenny Sergeant, which is likely going to get mulliganed if not used. But I guess we're going to see. I mean, like.
I mean, Game King definitely has a huge advantage here because we know that his entire deck has been buffed by a very big amount of stats. So it's definitely cool for him. Also, also having this Summoning Circle. I mean, Mogwai also plays Summoning Circle in the deck, but didn't get it yet. So really.
Yeah, the decks they're fairly similar decks. I mean, the big standout being the Knight Elect for Henselt.
That's right.
And the Reaver Scouts and the Reaver Scouts in full test.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, I was just thinking, that I mean, Mega Mogwai just creates 6 stats every round, so that's pretty strong. Yeah, I guess buff is very good as well.
Yeah, we know that Henselt isn't running anything like a Lacerate or anything that's going to affect the armor of the Knight Elect, so you can kind of, you know, you're not using that insurance, or that immune boost as insurance to make sure that your Knight Elect machine keeps running.
That's right.
It's just, you know,
but
stats.
Those minions are becoming so big, just look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has 8 stats. I mean, that's so strong.
Yeah, I mean, the closer that Mogwai can get this, the sooner it'll get to be overtaking passively. But Girl Igni is, you know, 18 points at this point. It's only going to get more and more. But of course, you know, Mogwai has a decent Igni as well to counter it.
Yeah, and also this support which buffs by 6 per round. I mean, that's really huge.
Yeah, those Knight Elects are great cards.
He can even pull the Spy now, you know. If he pulls Taylor now, that's enough, yeah. He can play Taylor and Igni and then he overcomes. So he could do so.
Something with Death Mold instead. Death Mold.
Oh, Rain.
Oh, the little.
Those
this
are the
is
tricks,
great.
Man. Those are the tricks.
Yeah. Oh, this is pretty tough. There's nothing the Game King can play that's lower than 7. This is gonna have to just deal with this.
Now we are talking 11 stats per turn.
Oh wow.
12, no, 11 stats per turn.
Mogwai has set himself up very nicely here. Very nicely.
I mean, 11 stats per turn is not a joke.
No, I mean, you could, yeah, Game King has to play.
Yeah, even forcing those out, it's not too bad. And now Mega Mogwai is actually forced to deploy this Igni.
Yeah, I think so. But I think that's, you know, he'll play his Igni and then he'll probably respond to in kind with a little bit stronger Igni. And then at that point, Mogwai's kind of out of options
Mogwai
here.
needs to play Igni here, otherwise he cannot overcome the stats. If he plays Igni, he's perfectly fine because, I mean, this Igni is really, really good here. I mean, he cannot even really become countered by the other Igni because he's creating a lot of stats here every turn. I mean, just 11 stats every turn. I mean, that's so huge. I mean, even the Kadvani Sergeant is playing 14 stats for Mega Mogwai in this very situation.
It's the perfect rain. It's the perfect rain. 5 units.
Yeah,
all
it's
lined
really,
up
really strong.
That are going to be ticking for the rest of the round.
Yeah,
and Alex, nothing to stop them.
Exactly, and Igni will also never receive more value than ours, so that's a very clever thing to do. Oh no 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 no! Oh no no! It has to be Igni. It has to be Igni. Oh yeah, that's really good. Yeah.
Not your lucky day.
Suck. And another. This rain, man! Like look at the.
Oh, it's so good, yeah.
So good.
And then the Night Elect's coming right back. I mean, like there's gonna be a point where Mogwai can, like the passive generation of points. I mean, it's something that Henfeld's been like known to do. I mean, you know, I've always liked Henfeld on Night Elect, just kind of building that machine and just kind of letting the passive stats just do a lot of the work for you, where you can freely kind of play a bit more liberally. But this is now a very late round here. Mogwai doesn't have a lot of options.
That's like 11 stat creation per round.
Yeah,
I mean that's so silly. I mean usually if you're talking about Gwent, you're talking about like 2 stat creation, 3 stat creation, maybe 4. But I mean 11 stats every round. And Game King is just fighting against that, like against those 11 stats. I mean that's insane.
But Game King is ahead. Well, no, not really ahead. Not actually ahead because the Night Elects take care of it. No, there's really. I mean, yeah, he's gonna respond with the Igni here. I mean, it's a great Igni.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
Mogwai is capable of just kind of bouncing right back up, and it's just you know, everything he plays, it's as if it has like an extra 11 stats attached to it.
Yeah, but
so I mean, playing the Kadvani Sergeant.
No, he may not play Kadvani Sergeant. I mean, that's the thing he may not play. He needs to play a Reaver Hunter. It's 11 stats, so that makes 87, which means he needs to play at least 6 stats. And it's only the big Reaver Hunter. Actually, he has to play the big Reaver Hunter because otherwise Game King can just opt in and pass. So that's not it. That's just not enough. I mean, now Game King can pass, and that's devastating.
I wonder if he will. I mean,
that just cost Mega Mogwai an entire card. Like, this was.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, the Reaver Hunter.
He realizes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He's gonna go down that extra card. Oh man.
That's. Yeah.
If he had just played that Reaver Hunter.
He miscounted.
Yeah, he miscounted a little bit. Yeah. Tapping his head, trying to stay in it. It's it's been a long day. It's just a little, the tiny little mistakes are going to be what decides this, because these players have been at it a long time, and they've run the gauntlet, and
I mean that will cost him. I mean that it's
really
just probably it's just game, and exporting one Reaver Hunter wasn't even that bad because he could have just gotten it back with Nenneke, right? So I mean here we have Nenneke. He could have also gotten it back with Shani. So I mean just playing one Reaver Hunter, that would have not been the issue. He would have just had one more card, like one entire card more. And yeah, I guess that might definitely decide this game and maybe even the series here.
Yeah.
So.
How differently it would have been. Oh, he opts to take Shani instead of Nenneke. Probably because Dijkstra is not available, so it's probably more reliable just to take Shani. But I imagine Mogwai is not going to be playing anymore in this round.
Oh, I mean the availability of Game King cards is also not. I mean he doesn't really want to play any of those. I mean all those cards he has in his hand are like the entire pure powerhouses. I mean, even those Reaver Hunters getting buffed one time from Dandelion and then getting the other 4 stats. I mean, that's just so amazing. You just bring on par and then you play your other 4 Kadvani Sergeants.
Yeah, Game King doesn't want to play any of these cards.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah, does Summoning Circle
is so devastated.
Summoning Circle pulls creates taller right back, right? Is that correct?
Which one?
Is it only, like, the Summoning Circle creates taller here?
Oh,
is that, I mean, that is right. It's not a unit played on your side of the board or anything like that. It's just a unit played.
Yeah, so it's putting nothing.
Well, it's just pulling nothing. Okay, then it doesn't pull taller. Okay, good to know. I don't think I've seen that interaction using Summoning Circle on a spy. I guess it only applies to units played on your side of the board. Today I learned.
Oh wow. I mean that's so intense, and you really see Mogwai being like. Kind of destroyed a little bit because he was really thinking that's enough, and once he realized, I mean, it was basically like Mogwai is of course already a little bit worn down, a little bit tired from the entire game of gameplay, from the entire day of gameplay, and he went into this match and already being ahead 2-1 and having the victory in grass, like nearly in front of his hands.
Yeah.
And then he goes with the Kadvanization and he sees it, he sees Hansel into like triple Kadvanization for the win, maybe winning the entire tournament, winning the match,
yeah.
and hence confirming the entire, to win the entire thing.
Yeah.
And then there's Kira.
And at one point, yeah, there's Kira was a huge one.
Everything.
And then the Reaver Hunter was a huge one here too.
In the very same round, right? I mean, he just miscounted, by one stat, by 2 stats, and it has such a tremendous effect. And yeah, he really like. Yeah, I mean that's really important that he comes back now from this feeling of defeat, yeah, because. I mean, it's completely not over. I mean, even if Game King would win this game, it would still be 2-2, right? So, just not thinking about the past and saying, hey, yes, I did a mistake there, but let's do it better now. That's very important to switch off this mind game and coming back from that position. And he actually still has the ability to do so because, I mean, there are Reaver Hunters available, and he will also have a summoning circle, creating another Reaver Hunter, while Game King doesn't have the summoning circle left. So Game King's amount of Reaver Hunters will be 3. But Mogwai's
even the Reaver Scout as well.
Yeah,
another Reaver Hunter.
Yeah, and Mogwai's amount of Reaver Hunters will be 4. So that's.
Is it possible that we could see a Dijkstra crazy enough to save Mogwai? Is that actually possible?
I'm not sure. I cannot tell, but maybe. Yeah, maybe.
The 4 cards left in the deck. I mean, this is going to be tough because I mean, I don't know if I'm trying to remember what was played, but I do believe. I don't think Mogwai played his operator, so I think that's one of those cards. And we've seen all gold cards.
So you should play it now. So he might want to play Dijkstra now, just to keep himself the option of operating, or.
That's true. Yeah, the operator would just come down as a 7-point card.
No, but I mean, if he could have like duplicated some Reaver Hunters, maybe that would have done it. Not sure. Because at this very moment, it's better for him. I mean, if he still have an operator in the deck, it's better for him to get the 5th Reaver Hunter against the 4th Reaver Hunter of Game King.
Okay. Well, here comes Dijkstra here. Buckle your seatbelts, folks. Let's see what we get.
Oh man!
Roll the dice.
Oh man!
Oh man, Kira.
Kira is?
I mean, Kira is just going to be
like 13 sets, or
just going to be the buff on 2. So yeah, it's going to be 13. 13 for the buff.
That's fine. We take that.
Now I'm trying to think of what Game King has left in his deck and what the potential is.
Yeah, Reaver Hunter. Here he is, and
oh man!
So it's going to be Reaver Hunter. Oh man! Oh no, Dijkstra. Oh man!
Oh, this is like,
I mean, you're kidding me
here.
I'm
right here.
I mean,
I'm right
this
here.
is like this. Oh man! Oh.
Reaver Scout.
Is it pulling? Oh, yeah, it's pulling.
There's still a Reaver Hunter left in deck.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, that's gonna be
good. That's gonna be it.
Oh man! And another Reaver Scout. Yeah. Which was pulling.
Oh yeah, which was pulling. Yeah, never mind,
yeah.
guys. Yeah, never mind. We are talking 50 stats here. Casual 50 stats.
It was close game.
It was
close.
a close game though. So yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You take that.
Oh man, that one play. I mean, you want to see a 5-game series, right?
Absolutely,
you want to see this come down to
you want
this.
to see a 5th series.